now that we've had a look at Lambda and API Gateway, let's see how we can use them to call Athena and then use the Athena data to push that into Unity. Sound good, Nick?
Sounds fantastic.
Great. Let's get going. To do this, we do not need this welcome to Lambdas thing that we already had going. So let's just close that. Oh, it's gone. Instead, we have here another set of code that I'd like you to go and get. So generally, I am all about the writing everything from scratch, but there is one .NET controller, which is how you can use to talk to Athena, which I am just going to say, you know what? I'm not going to write that out again. It's one way of doing it. So let's just use it.
Yep.
All right. So I've got an empty or a template for a Lambda with an API gateway that will talk to Athena for you on your account.
Yep. So
come here to github.com/Jaxi/AWS Lambda Athena API.
Cool.
So AWS _Lambda _Athena _API. Take this one and go ahead and download as a zip file or clone it if you want to clone it. And if you find any bugs, then please fix them.
Pull request.
Tell me about them and I can fix them. I'd love to know what I've done wrong with this.
Very cool. This should make this a NuGet package.
That'd be fun. We could do that.
We should do that.
We should do that. All right. So how do you use this? Go ahead and download it. Let's download it and extract it, which I've already got done. So extract to Athena Master. This one, Athena Master, and then run the csproj file. And then chill while it does its component lookup. You know, if you turn your internet off,
it's faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good programming.
All right. Do you trust this project, Nick? Do you trust me? Yes, boy. I trust me.
I guess so.
I guess it's not a very trustworthy answer there.
Do you trust me?
I do trust you.
Oh, okay. Well, I trust you too.
Oh, okay, cool.
So OpenAid. Yeah. Anyway, let's
moving on with life.
Yeah.
We've noticed that loading error list is slowing Visual Studio down. Oh man. All right. So what is this got inside of it? It has a function which has a whole bunch of variables that you would need to set to be able to talk to your Athena. And then it has a simple query to go ahead and write the SQL query for you. And if you'd like to put some where clauses in, then that's all written out as well. And now it says, cool, I have an Athena controller. I will perform an Athena query by passing in the SQL query that it built together. And then it says, awesome, I will take the results of the Athena response and I will serialize them. And then it says, cool, it's that same API gateway response that we saw just before. It's just going to take the Athena response, put that into response body, and now body is going to be a JSON response of the Athena returned data.
Cool, sounds good.
So yeah, that's all pretty simple. It's exactly the same thing as we were doing before. It's just now we've got a function that does a bit more than just says, hi, call me.
Yep.
I am Sarah or I am Jeff.
Cool.
So let's look at the controller itself. Before we look at that, let's look at the dependencies. Inside of the dependencies, we can go and look at NuGet and see that we've got the AWS SDK.Athena. So that's the only one that I had to go up to NuGet and get. So this is the default AWS Athena library. So then I took that and said, let's make an Athena controller. Because this has the Athena library and the Athena model inside of it. This is how you go ahead and actually submit a query to Athena. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I also, the way that it returns data in the base default row is to look like this. Column 1, an array that is
this
value 1, value 2, value 3, value 4.
Yeah,
Nick remembers this. Yeah. Instead, I didn't. This part of the code here takes the Athena response and pivots that around. So then you've got columns. Each individual row is its own JSON object. So it's ready to be deserialized into a C# object.
Yeah.
And you'll see that pretty soon. All right, so what do we need to do? I said earlier that we need to go ahead and get ourselves an AWS account that can talk to Athena for us. You could go ahead and use the one that you use for DataBricks. You could add... I think we may have made that one as a full admin as opposed to just having S3 access.
I don't know.
I can't remember what we did. So we're going to make another one anyway because it's good practice to have different pieces. All right, so we need to set our AWS access key and our AWS secret key, secret access key. And to get those, we go into the service IAM. If you don't have it there, go to IAM. And we'll see that while I preach security is great, I've got lots of warnings on my account, so we'll skip past that. And we can see, hey, we've got some access token access key agents to change. Where did we do that one?
S3 full access.
S3 full access, and we also gave a Kinesis reader. Cool. So you can see I've got this 3D bars game analytics. That was me just testing things out earlier, so I'm going to delete that. I kind of thought it would delete faster than that. Yes. All right, so let's make a new user that can talk to Athena for us.
Cool.
And we'll call this Game Analytics. Athena Game Analytics.
Yep. Man, you like your underscores.
Underscores everywhere. Everywhere and underscore. Notepad is just amazing. Programmatic access. Sorry.
Yep. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty sweet.
What group do we want it to have access to? We
Athena
want to have Athena access, which is a policy, which as a group that has a policy called Athena, Amazon Athena full access. Now, Amazon Athena full access as the policy.
And then S3 full access.
Nope.
Or
the Amazon Athena full access policy says I will give you just enough details to talk to.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only got access to each of the Athena buckets themselves. So one thing we didn't talk about Athena is that every single time you run a query, it writes the results as CSV onto your S3.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was a big query and you want to get it again, it goes, well, I've actually already
got that
for you.
so you have.
Yeah, so it saves you having to run it again and again and again.
That's cool.
So that is what the S3 limited things it has. It has the ability, well, Athena has access to go and read S3. The S3 permissions on this policy says I am only able to write to the bucket name, which is AWS Athena query results. All right, so let's create this user, create the user, and then we've got our access key ID.
Love it.
And our secret key, again, this is the one that you only have one chance to get. If you lose it, then it's gone.
You lost it.
Of course, I just lost it, which is just stupid of me. I have no other way of putting that. All right, cool. So there's our access. Let's go into our Visual Studio project.
Yeah.
And we will add in our secret key. Hey, what's happening? Copy our access key and our secret key. Now, unlike Spark, we don't need to do any weird kerfuffling around with pluses and slashes. What?
//
//
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's backslash. It's a problem. C#. Bro.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah.
What region are we in? So the region is US West 2. I've got that set because if we look at our other things, they're already set to US West 2. Yeah. Hey, Richard, you're looking at API Gateway, not Athena or S3 or any of those other things. Yeah, I know. They're all in the same one because we were very careful about that. Now, the database name is, I can't remember, so I will come back to Athena.
Game Analytics, I think. Lowercase.
Yeah, you're right. You pay attention to these things, whereas I just remember and go and look them up again. So I would have gone Game Analytics with a capital G, capital A, forgetting that I said everything should be lowercase.
That's why we're a team.
I know. I'm just saying that I'm not calling you out on anything. I'm just saying that I was silly. Okay, and finally, it needs to write. Athena needs to know where should it write these results to. You have to give it something. You can't leave it blank. You can't leave it empty. Otherwise, it goes, that doesn't exist.
Mm.
And where I said that Athena does no pre-validation to check that what you're creating actually exists, it does do a check when you go to write a query to say, does where you're telling me to write have exist, and do I have permissions to write there?
Mm.
So you can't trick it with that one. I tried.
Fair enough.
So then you sit here going, but I don't want to have to write all this Athena stuff every single time. I don't want to have to remember to go and delete my files every once in a while. So you can go ahead and set up a policy on the bucket that just says you just delete the files after a few days. And we'll get that going on. All right, so this is the one it's going to write to. US West Oregon, and this is in Oregon, so we'll take this bucket. Copy, paste that in. There we go. And let's just go to the function and check it out. Okay, so that's the first part done. Let's go and look at the directions that it says here. Set up your AWS details in functions.cs. Yes. Change the SQL in functions.functionNameCS. Why, that's the default thing that it came up with. Let's call it player path by clicks. Now, we know that we were passing in 2 values as query string parameters on our thing. Note that we don't pass them in to the method like this, because all we get passed in is an API gateway proxy request and the URL that was passed in. So if we look at the request, then it's already taken the query string parameters and put them into a key value pair. So we had level name, level version, great. Where clause column value 1, where clause column value 2. Let's call that level name. And the next one, level version, that's control R if you not remembering, not knowing what I did just then. Okay, so select, and what do we want to pick out of this query? Let's go to Athena and find out. We don't need to go to Athena, we can go to the game Analytics API and find out here, which was
Player path by clicks.
Player path by clicks. This one, we can take all of these because these are our
things.
Filling time on a copy paste. Hey. All right, cool. So we want to have level name, level version. These don't want to be capital letters. They must be lower because we are now dealing in the land of Athena. And Athena just has a thing against capitals.
I feel like we had client ID, client underscore ID, but I'm not sure.
We can check it out.
Yeah, we should.
I know it's click position underscore. So let's go to Athena. And go to game analytics and say select star from player path by clicks limit 10. An annoying thing about this query editor is you can't have 2 queries in there and then say execute the second one, please.
Because it sends this whole thing as text.
Yep, and then it goes, that's freaky.
Oh,
All right, so we have level name, level version, client underscore ID. Thank you very much, Nick. I knew about the other ones. I didn't know about these.
I forgot about the other ones.
Let's go click position X. And the final one was clicks, not counter. Clicks as counter. Clicks. Yeah. And what we'll also do here is, now I've got this set up as if you had your data all nice and granular in there, but we don't have our data nice and granular. We have got it already pre-aggregated and summarized from DataBricks. So I don't need to have this sum in here. We can just make that clicks because that's already set up correctly. Clicks from database.table. We had these written out here, so database name.
Yep.
Which is the one with the dollars? It's the, how do you do this?
Yeah. Oh, and then it's open bracket, close bracket. Oh, you have to do $at.
$at. Okay.
Yeah, cool. And then
now it's curly.
Curly, yeah.
Database name dot. Now, table in this case is not a written thing up here, so we're just going to type
sense, yeah.
player path
By clicks, underscore by clicks.
clicks.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, this worked. Copy, paste, just in case. All right, now we can come to our first where clause and say if level name is not empty, then let's put in where dimension 1. So level name, oops, and level version. And someone's probably looking here going, what about your SQL injection attack? Oh my goodness, this is stupid. There's no parameters. And you're right, there is no parameters on Athena. You can only pass in a string and then say, run this. But if you were to try and do this, comma, drop database game analytics, it would actually go, hey, hang on, this is an invalid query, so it would crash. So it can only actually run one query per request. So you can't say crash go as if ignore the error and keep going. Like, yeah. So you can kind of be okay with SQL injection attacks. And someone
wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, no, it's not amazing. You would want to put security on your API, so then make sure you're only passing in the correct things. The other thing is, if you were to put in where, well, yeah, I just kind of demonstrated that one with the SQL injection. It's not amazing, but it does work. And you are now serverless. Put security on your API gateway, not on the function itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. So now we have this query that says, hey, I've got the select statement and I will do the 2 where clauses if I need to, if they are actually populated here in the first place. And then it says, I will go ahead and talk to Athena and pass it that SQL query and I will serialize the response and return it over to you. So
let's give it a go.
Nearly, very nearly. We can come into our serverless template and then we'll call this one player path by clicks.
Can you have an app settings in your Lambda?
App settings. You can use environment variables.
Okay, that's just as good, I guess.
So you could put these ones here into an environment variable instead of having it hard coded in here like this.
Fair enough.
Let's go to the function name, player path by clicks. So as we saw, this is what the function is going to be called in AWS. This is where it's the namespace is going to be called, the namespace.class, and finally the function name itself. We're going to leave all of this as is, and now the role that it's running on, is the policy it's running on, is not the way it's using to connect to Athena. The way it's connecting to Athena is by passing in these 2.
Oh yeah, that is the actual Lambda execution policy.
Yes.
And then the code is actually setting the
correct.
Lambda
so
stuff.
Lambda doesn't have access to talk to Athena.
Stuff, yeah.
It's the user that we pass the credentials in that is able to talk to it. And you go, where are these things getting set? You can come into Athena controller and perform Athena query. I could have also just done the other thing that I wanted to do. They're in here somewhere. That's a horrible way of looking at it. I should actually find it. Shift F12. There we go.
Yep.
So in the create Athena client, they are being used. Okay, cool. So what else do we want to do here is go to serverless.template. That is everything. The API name is the / part. So we'll call this player path. By clicks. And now we can deploy this. All right, so now it says, hey, what's the stack name? Let's call this one Game Analytics.
Player path.
Athena. Call player by Athena. And the S3 bucket that we want to call this one is Athena Game Analytics. Doesn't like underscores, it likes dashes. Okay. Save the settings and publish. What are we up to for this video? So this one's finishing. Well, we're going to let this one publish, and then we will continue this video from it being published. See y'all in the next video.
See ya.